Coming up, we will tell you how the looming government shutdown will have impacts on veterans here in the Commonwealth. And Mountain Comprehensive Care Center hosts a rally for recovery in Knott County.
Plus, a warm end to September is on tap, tracking above average temperatures as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
The president of the United Auto Workers has announced expanded strikes at 2 U.S. assembly plants. The additional strikes are targeting Ford's Chicago assembly in Illinois. That plant produces the Ford Explorer and the Lincoln Aviator. GM's Lansing Delta Township plant is also being targeted by the union. UAW President Shawn Fain says Stellantis is being spared new strike events because they are negotiating.
Together, we're putting the fight back in the UAW and in the entire labor movement. A union that's not prepared to strike to win is like a fighter with one hand tied behind his back.
Nearly 6,900 auto workers are taking part in the latest wave of work stoppages. Roughly 18,300 workers are on strike right now for the union. The Biden administration has approved more offshore drilling. It is planning 3 new oil and gas lease sales in federal water over the next 5 years. The drilling sites are all located on the Gulf of Mexico, scheduled for 2025, 2027, and 2029. This is the smallest number of lease sales in history, and it comes with a trade-off. The plan also allows officials to offer more U.S. water for clean wind energy. The move will likely prompt legal challenges.
We are tracking sunny weather, but also some warm weather as we close out September, also moving into October. Here's a live look right now from Buffalo Mountain. Some fair skies back in the distance. That current temperature at 73 degrees. We should be close to 75, so we are close to average here in Perry County, but some areas are well above average, up to 84 in Somerset, 85 in Monticello, 76 in Pikeville, and down to 70, the cool spot over in Wise at this hour. Up on the radar, we are dry, and that dry weather is going to continue as we go into this evening. So if you have any evening plans or late night plans on Friday, the forecast looking pretty good. As we look ahead, though, we are watching out for this stretch of drier weather to continue for much of the weekend. Also next week, also tracking some warmer air as well. We should be in the middle 70s. We could top out in the middle 80s on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so about 10 degrees above average. But we are tracking our next cold front by this time next week, and some cooler air could be on the way by next weekend. All those details plus your full 7-day forecast on the way in just a few minutes. Olivia?
Cameron, thank you. Mountain Comprehensive Care hosted their second recovery rally aimed at supporting those battling addiction. Multiple organizations gathered in Hindman for the rally. Mountain Comprehensive Care case manager Celeste Watts says gathering multiple resources has proven to make a difference.
Just reached out to our community partners and asked them to. A lot of us have in the recovery field have worked together at some point or another, so even if we don't work for the same agency, we know each other. So we just kind of reached out to our community partners.
Attendees not only met with organization leaders, but they also got the opportunity to hear and share their testimonies. We will have more on this at 6. Kentucky's 2022 overdose fatality report indicates fewer overdose deaths. The report says 2,135 Kentuckians died of a drug overdose last year. That is a decline of more than 5% compared with the previous year and the first decline since 2018. The report indicates 9 in 10 overdose deaths involved opioids, and fentanyl continues to be the most prevalent drug contributing to the deaths. The Shaping Our Appalachian Region, or SOAR Summit, is right around the corner. The summit will be on Tuesday and Wednesday at the Corbin Arena in Whitley County. The 2-day event will have speakers such as Governor Andy Beshear, Congressman Hal Rogers, and more. Corbin Tourism Executive Director Maggie Mulholland says a lot has gone into coordinating the event.
Here in Corbin, we have been really busy preparing for the 2023 SOAR Summit, which of course is the premier event of Appalachia. So we've been working hand in hand with our arena staff.
Mulholland says it is an exciting time as the city has a lot of events in the upcoming weeks. She says this summit will have a positive impact on tourism. We will have more on that tonight at 6. A possible government shutdown is looming if Congress does not approve federal funding before the new fiscal year begins. They have until 11:59 tomorrow to reach an agreement. A shutdown can impact Americans in active duty as well as our veterans who rely on federal benefits. Alyssa Williams has more on how this can affect these people.
With the possibility of a government shutdown beginning this weekend, people may be wondering how this can impact the federal benefits many people receive. In particular, how this can affect our veterans. Veterans Club Incorporated founder and CEO Jeremy Harrell says a government shutdown can have serious implications on veterans and those in active duty.
4 million people could lose pay if they don't come to an agreement before the end of tomorrow. About half of those 4 million are military service members who are currently serving and other essential personnel. So there's a lot of civilians who work for the military as a civilian that would impact their pay as well.
Harrell adds many servicemen and women will be impacted by the loss of SNAP benefits and other food assistance programs.
But right now, today, over 25% of military families are experiencing food insecurity, and this is without a shutdown. So you can imagine how much more impactful that would be.
But veterans who receive care and benefits through VA health care may feel less of an impact.
If a government shutdown were to happen, operations for the Lexington VA healthcare system would continue uninterrupted, no impact to veterans, no impact to employees.
Harrell says the Veterans Club is also there to help those who are not eligible for VA assistance.
Hopefully they won't need to do that. They won't need to apply for those things. But if they do, we want them to know that for Kentucky veterans and those serving actively in Kentucky, we're here to help.
In Lexington, Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
Coming up as First at 4 continues, the cost of borrowing money to buy a home has hit a 23-year high. We will explain what that means for someone in the market for a new home.
And the weather looks fantastic for week 7 of high school football. All those details coming up after this break.